the match of the day. It should be a really great matchup to sit back and enjoy. But I don't know, man. The last one between Wildcard and Chiefs was a bit of a banger. So this one's got some big expectations to live up to, but I do think it has the potential to easily do that. Both of these teams were the representatives at the most recent major. Again, of course, Knights unable to attend, but Invictus they did. Didn't make it out of the group, so not much of an impact, but they still gained a lot of valuable experience from that little trip. And we'll have to see whether or not they can transfer that now back into APAC South and take down the Knights.
And look, even though Invictus didn't make playoffs at the major, they still had some pretty significant wins, including continuing their winning streak against TSM. Fun fact, Invictus have played TSM at 2 different events, of course the North American Stars, and beaten them every time that they've played them. So quite an impressive feat, quite an impressive accolade for IG, who have now made their 2nd international event this year, also going to SI back in March. And that does give definitely Invictus the distinct advantage in terms of international scrimmage experience. But Knights, they've looked like the better team. Stage 1, they got the 3rd place overall in APAC, and Stage 2, they got 1st place in APAC South. They are consistently the best of the best here in APAC, but they haven't had the opportunity to go global. They got to keep fighting it here domestically, though, at the regional level, if they want to repeat that and make it to the November major.
Now, touching on the bans, Flores off the board will limit some of the, util clearance potential from the attack, if I can get my words out. That said, the Nomad was followed up there for the flank watch, meaning that Thatcher has made it through an operator that realistically doesn't get a whole lot of play at pro level. At rank level, it seems like Thatcher is almost an instant ban for a lot of these teams, but we're going to see that be available, not played, in fact, actually in the first round here, so the Knights seemingly not needing it. In terms of the defense, however, the Wamai taken out means that the Jaeger will be heavily leaned into by the defense to deny projectiles and facilitate some of these extensions. Again, downstairs you think of Blue and Freezer, etc., and maybe even up above as we see IG tease that. Miro as well taken down, a bit of a frustrating operator sometimes to deal with. Again, typically on Oregon as well, quite potent, so it won't have to be contested. But yeah, just this extension as a whole really lighting up my eyes a little bit. I'm keen to see this actually work.
This is a very heavy roam strategy, isn't it, from IG? Look at the way that they've reinforced that attic hatch. They've made rotations between security kitchen and meeting. Likely, I believe, is there a big tower rotation? Indeed, there is. Reinforcements on the stage walls too. A very loose roam this will be. Info denial in the form of hysterics on the Mozzie. And of course, the mute of Lunar Metal Hatch open as well. So looking to get very loosey-goosey here for IG.
That was a bit Australian, Dev. Is loosey-goosey Australian? I don't even know.
I don't know.
Whoa! Dino.
Oh, that's a bit loosey-goosey if you ask me. Dino finds the opener. Hysterics, the fragger himself, goes down. He's going to have to flick cam. So the rest of this one, doesn't matter how long you spend in aim lab. If you don't win that opening fight, you got to spend the rest of the time on cams.
Now that does put quite a bit of pressure on some of these remaining defenders up above. The likes of Speakeasy can pop off, but now a bit of extra weight on his shoulders. Compound that weight as Stage also finds Joe. This roam from Invictus seemingly unsuccessful right now. Someone needs to go huge, but even Speakeasy is shut down. It's a 2 versus 5 already, almost a 1 versus 5. The Knights absolutely tearing this roam apart.
Knights are the butchers and Invictus are the supple meat just ready to be minced apart. Invictus have fallen to pieces. It's all on Jordan. Poor man. About 30 HP remaining. Can't even find a single pick. Knights run over IG in the first round. A flawless opening here on Oregon.
I don't even know what to say about that. I don't think we are going to see Invictus attempt that site for a little while, and probably not with a roam. And if they do, they are going to really have to tidy up at least, what, 2 or 3 of those kills, you could argue, were just for free. I mean, they weren't traded. No one from the attack really taking much damage or sinking much utility either. That was just a complete fail. Honestly, that was just, on so many parts, Invictus just completely faltering. Props though to the Knights, they took quick map control, they seized those opportunities and hit their shots critically, especially in the first round when you might not be as warm, to be able to just find those kills with confidence. Really, really good sign. So well played by the attack. As for Invictus, back to the drawing board for downstairs, they don't have to worry about that at the moment, instead rotating above, and dorms will be where they tried to defend for round 2.
Yeah, so what I'm really looking for in this round for Invictus is not having every bloody person die in the first minute of the round.
That would help a little bit.
Definitely would be a good start. I mean, I'm not trying to roast Invictus, love the guys, but yeah, I mean, I think this is such a testament to the Knights, right? Like, everyone gets hyped up for Invictus, DWG, and CAG, the big hitters from APAC that we saw at the August Major down in Mexico. But, I mean, Knights have been there knocking on the doors of APAC for such a long time. And through 2021, they have, hands down, been the most consistent high-level APAC team. Like, not even Mantis C9 can say that. Knights is looking like arguably the best team in APAC, but we just haven't had the opportunity for them to prove it at an international stage, even an APAC level stage so far. They didn't even make it to APAC playoffs in stage 2 because they bypassed the whole damn thing by being first seed out of APAC South. So if Knights can make this a nice easy win, what a statement it would be.
Well, so far Invictus doing slightly better than the last round. Nobody's dropped within the first 40 seconds, so that's a nice little improvement. As Dino with Hibana will already start to work the game's wall. No wall denial selected by Invictus means that wall can be popped open. Now, I don't know if Hysterix he is running impacts, in fact, 2 in the hand, but neither of those used as he's playing in towards Dorms, unable to deny that breach. Jordan, though, peeks back in retaliation. Dino to follow that up with 6 more X-Kyra should mean there's an entry point already for the Knights. Good use of time, good use of utility, and Jordan now under the pump.
There's one ugly breach, though, from the Hibana. Perhaps not the most ideal opening, but still a lot of time for Knights to work on it. Juicy here controlling Armory. I like this from Hayward as well. He's watching for these rotations downstairs. You already mentioned Hysterix was not in position to impact Trick because he's roaming below, preventing any vertical play and cutting off any lurkers from the Knights. But of course that works both ways. Knights themselves have sent Hayward down here. It's H versus H down below. Hysterix might be on for the flank though.
Hayward finds one, not traded by Hysterix, who will now swing wide. Oh, misses the first shot and gets taken down. Hayward, what an insane shot that was. Knights again with a heavy man advantage.
And it looks like this may spiral for the Knights. Juicy finds another pick, and it's all Jordan. Juicy, my friend. What are you doing, mate? Walking straight into that Syria gate. And Jordan finishes him off, and oh my god, it's over. 2 rounds, which look easy as you like for Knights. They are putting on a show.
These first 2 rounds are looking really dangerous from the Knights, and this is giving me flashbacks to the Knights game against Overt not long ago in OCN, where we really saw a switch kind of flick on. Now, it didn't happen as quickly as it has in this matchup, but when it did switch on, the Knights were just manipulating their opponents and finding so many kills, especially on that Dorms objective, just completely uncontested. Now, on that occasion, it was facilitated by the Montang, and on that occasion, the Knights not even needing that. So, wow, this is really quite scary for IG. The Knights in the server right now are 110% switched on. They are not allowing anything to go wayward, nothing at all. And Invictus really, really need to start lifting their game if they want to try and stop the Knights from really mounting up a significant lead.
Yeah, wow, we're really getting a taste of what Knights is capable of here. I mean, I have a lot of hope for IG that they won't roll over and let this happen. They are an incredibly determined team, incredibly hardworking as well, always have been, especially as a Singaporean team, one of the very few Singaporean teams in all of esports. Not a region that you would typically see fielding a lot of esports team in any title, and a large part of that is just the lifestyle challenges that people in Singapore face when trying to pursue esports. I know a lot of these guys have done national service, juggled that with their esports career. A lot of them have a lot of pressure in terms of pursuing more conventional career paths as well through university. I know Lunametal, I think he's just about finishing up his economics degree, and there's a lot of parental pressures and stuff in the culture there. So, I mean, it's just amazing that Invictus is able to do what they can. And there is absolutely no doubt that they are some of the most determined players, and they will fight back here for Knights.
Oh, yeah, no doubt Invictus are some of the hardest working in the world even, and they have been around for so long. Even dating back as far as even the first Invitational, way back in 2017 when My voice probably hadn't even broken by then, so it has been quite some time that they've been rocking inside the server. Juicy, quick entry though. Kitchen hallway, now ascertained. Must be pretty confident that both meeting and even tower itself is clear, so some good droning there from the Knights, as well as those Yana holograms being used to gain that control. Cool, calm, and collected here from the Knights. Sooner rather than later, they'll be able to work that meeting hatch, open that up, and begin to think about where they want to mount this attack from. A stark difference to their last attempt in round one. Keep in mind, Invictus roamed on that occasion, and Knights were able to get a lot of free picks. But this time, it's definitely much more measured and should come down to that 5v5 execute.
I wonder how much the Ella concussion Grismox will play into effect. Speakeasy's a terror, and if you can control the Scorpion, it can be a bit of a headshot machine. Also a bit of a staple of Southeast Asian teams in general, particularly those from Singapore and Indonesia. So I wonder whether that'll have a big impact. Speakeasy is always that player we're looking for to make an impact, but he hasn't found a kill yet. We're also hoping that Luna can do some work on the Clash, but no picks either way so far.
Reinforcement still going up, one in the pocket available to IG if so required. Oh, what a frag there from Juicy at the bottom of Laundry Stairs. Sends it deep.
It goes in.
Oh, in hand. Speakeasy though, shuts that down, tries to swing wide and maybe find a second in towards that Laundry position, but the timing not quite there as the push from Freezer comes through. Luna goes for the 180, manages to facilitate the push. There's so much aggression from both teams, but the Knights win it out at the end. So much chaos there in the dying seconds of that push, but the Knights able to win it out. What just happened, dude? Honestly, what just happened?
I'm rewatching it right now on the clean feed. My God, it was a 5v4, and then just everything exploded all at once. There was a bit of a tussle in Freezer. Luna did the kind of 180, 360 trick with the Clash, and the refrags were just in abundance for Knights. I think at the end of it, it ended up as a 2 versus 0. Hayward and Sage, the only man left standing. And my God, that's 3 rounds in a row on the attack as well, Guz. I mean, Oregon's not a particularly slanted map to one side or the other, but after watching Bank go 5-1 for Wildcard and seeing that the impact that had on the final scoreline, I can't help but get a little nervous for Invictus.
Whew. That was a lot of chaos. I'm still trying to untwist my tongue, trying to describe what was happening there because my mouth could only move so fast.
Just give up at that point,
crazy.
honestly.
Yeah.
That's it.
I always did. Shout out to Mandy, though, on our observatory. She did not give up. And honestly, captured so much of that round, which was really impressive. So thank you very much.
I think we saw every kill from either the perspective of the person getting the kill or the person getting killed. So Mandy is a bit of a magician.
Yep.
Doing her best despite the absolute chaos that these teams are providing for us. But my God, let's just touch for a minute on the Knights. I mean, what a show. That nade to open it and the collapse, they're always so tight on their trades. They're not letting IG have the last laugh.
And that's part of the impact that Vast was talking about on the desk. Juicy, I believe in the last couple of stages being one of the lower performing players in terms of Siege GG rating, but his impact is not necessarily felt on the scoreboard or in the stats. He's a great leader. He's a great initiator of players, and he might well just do it again. Oh, gets time there on Shower Hallway, but Joe finds that kill. Juicy almost tries to trade it back, but gets traded back himself. Jordan to find that kill with the shotgun in hand. Man, these rounds are wild. Invictus with a clear advantage.
Yeah, you'd think that the Wild game would be the one where there's a team called Wildcard in it, but no, it's this one 100%. I mean, this is pure chaos.
I mean, sorry to cut in, but I reckon this might be one of the most aggressive games of Oregon like I have ever seen, especially early round, right? It's just so many kills going either way. Sage brings it back to a 3 versus 3. Okay.
Jeez, 5v3 to 3-on-3 Knights not giving up here. And IG somewhat caught out of position now. You look at a player like Luna, he's trapped in Armory. I'm getting some deja vu from the Elevate game we saw earlier today. That did not pan out so well for Onigiri when he was trapped up here. A lot of chances, though, for IG to scuttle back into decent positioning. It's going to come down to Knights. They're the ones who have to take this next step. And with Sage going down and now finished off, and with Luna on for this flank, it looks like IG might be able to find their first round.
Luna probing above. could be a critical part of the defense here late round if he tries to swing around, as the Knights look to get control of security in towards Kitchen. Luna moves and finds that kill. The headshot onto Dino is clean, and Josh now needs to send it deep in towards the site. One frag grenade still remaining, pushes down Kitchen hallway. That Banshee no doubt will give away his position as he needs to shoot it out. Defense should be ready and waiting for him to enter stage.
He'll do his best here, but the 1-on-3 is nigh unwinnable. No one playing in the hard corner, but on the attic hatch. A loose nade and a bait plant. Surely he can't stick it, and Luna will punish. Invictus to find their first round after a significant drought. They get onto that scoreboard, attempting their tertiary site.
Yeah, and it was really a case of bad timing there for the Knights. Juicy was so aggressive inside of Dining, he missed, I believe it was Joe, in the shower hallway by a fraction of a second, and that was the opening kill for Invictus. They were able to double down, as then Juicy was kind of caught in this awkward predicament. Does he try and trade? Does he back off? Does he aggress? And got caught in the middle of all of that. That put it into the 3v5, and then Invictus able to close it out. So it was really a case of just super awful timing there for the Knights, and a great play, of course, by Joe in that corridor to pull that off. So Siege can really be a game of millimeters, milliseconds at times, and on that occasion, Invictus were able to pull it off.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs.
So the Valk 6 pick here for IG, looking to get a little bit more information to make some plays. I think it's particularly potent on this Dawn's Bomb site. We've seen some pretty incredible outside cameras on the satellite dish, on the water tower, on the bus. You can make a lot of judgments, not necessarily all aggressive plays, but simply just understanding, okay, well, we can see this 3 pushing master balcony. Even if you're not making an aggressive play, you can position your util around it. A little bit of an aggressive hold early for IG with that shield in trophy, but for me, a lot of my curiosity is piqued by Knights. I want to know whether they can continue this momentum. It's really uncharacteristic, honestly, to see them playing so aggressive. IG are a team that definitely like to keep an element of aggression in their playstyle. Knights are a lot more default most of the time. So I do wonder what the go is here and what's given them so much confidence to play like this.
Yeah, Knights is definitely a team that, at least from an outsider's perspective, looks like they play aggressive, but it's often when they have the right setup and the right cue to kind of go bang, and that typically comes in that last sort of portion of the round. So far in this matchup, though, we're seeing really strong aggression early round. They're finding kills and taking background control so quickly, and not allowing Invictus to breathe at all. Now, we are seeing Invictus extend a little bit here, the likes of Jordan, for example, trying to ward off any attack from the eastern side of the map and prevent any free control inside of Armory, inside of Bedroom, etc. But, I mean, even that's already been kind of countered by Dino. As he plays safely, I was going to say, outside of Bedroom to open up Gang's wall. It does get popped open. The cross does open him up to the angle that Joe's holding to inflict a little bit of damage, but his job is done now. That wall being opened is just so much perceived pressure that Invictus need to be careful of. Someone, for the rest of the next minute 50, needs to ensure that no one peeks closet and no one runs in, as the Knights can now rotate and go for a push elsewhere.
Is there a read here? Knights seem to be very aware of this play from IG. An aggressive run out. Hayward's got to land the shot. Thankfully, he's got enough bullets in that LMGE. 150 tends to be enough for most situations. And Sage there as well. You could see they must have voted IG. They must have known that someone was going to come small tower for a flank. They dedicated so many players to watching it, and I mean, it does net the advantage.
Yeah, they have a lot of drones up, so yeah, could be VOD, could also be like a pre-place watching the cross from shower corridor. Difficult to make that assertion. I mean, there's no way we're going to be able to see the drone, basically impossible. So we can only guess. But with a minute to go, no guessing game here as the Knights have East control. Speakeasy, they finds one back for the 4 versus 4, and that's double window control now lost by the attack. That allows the likes of Jordan to play quite freely over towards that window. He capitalizes and finds a kill onto Dino.
This nade could be huge, but the ADS saves Joe's life. 3v4 for Knights, but equalized once again by the lit Hayward. 35 seconds, still time. Knights don't have to rush this as of yet. IG have strong positions, particularly this shield in pit. Luna has such a prime position.
Oh.
What a play! Jordan hears the sound cue and punishes Juicy. Josh and Haywood to clutch up, but Invictus is taking every step they need to even up this game. Jordan goes down, and Josh has made this winnable once again. It's all on his shoulders as Haywood tries to push up from the white stairs, and it's just Haywood left remaining. 1 on 2, no diffuser, and there's no chance for him here. Invictus 2 rounds in a row, and step by step they catch up with the Knights.
A critical deployable shield there inside of pit that Joe was able to use and abuse to find some really key picks there. The jump out as well from Jordan out the double window was really huge, and once again denying window control for the second time in that round, snatching that away from the Knights. And that double window position for the Knights is often where they do have someone posted up, giving callouts and really choking out the defense as much as possible. It's so powerful in covering a lot of the rotations within the site. They did a decent job the Knights. They forced those defenders so deep in towards pit and that kid's rotation, but with that shield up, that position was maybe not as exposed as they would have liked. And really, really well played there from Invictus to really knuckle down in the dying seconds, hold on, win out that round, and they are now potentially in a position to even out the half. And given the start that they had on this map, that would be a significant comeback.
Yeah, I mean no shade when I say that Invictus are a team no stranger to fighting from behind. How many times have we seen them with a victory just under their nose and swept away? Kind of became a bit of a running joke for a while. This team and many of the players on this roster still the same as that old era Wolf roster. They were known as the gatekeepers of APAC because time after time they would play at these big APAC finals events and lose to teams like Fnatic, Norengo, all of these teams that would head off to have significant accolades overseas. They certainly know how to fight from a disadvantage. They certainly know what it's like to be rejuvenated and only hungrier when faced with adversity. And if they can make 3 in a row here, what a momentum build that would be.
Hysteric's aggressive inside. This will be a test of how good these pre-placed drones are from the Knights. Do they know someone's crossed in towards this position? The Ana hologram would suggest that they don't quite know, and Hysteric's finds such a nasty shot there onto Juicy. That's 1 hard breach out of 2 off the board.
Oh, almost gets the second. Josh tries to find the refrag on the back of losing his drone. I like the way IG has really extended this roam. They're not afraid of Knights, and I think that's important, but of course, 1v1 here or there can change the equation. We've seen that in previous rounds. Right now they're swinging for Invictus.
Vert from above, from Sage on the sledge. Preventing any rotations up above here from the defense to support the likes of Hysterics. But do the Knights know he's in this dining position? If Hysterics goes unchecked, he's in a great spot to go big.
Oh, the prone. Oh, gets spotted. That's another drone gone down, only 7 left. Still pretty decent drone economy here for the Knights. The problem being they're not able to act on this information as they get it, being so spread out. They still have not managed to pinch Hysterics. He's just lying in wait, happy to waste out time while Knights figure out how they're going to deal with him.
Yeah, I really hope the Knights are getting work done elsewhere, because at the moment there's basically 2 players just sitting and waiting for Hysterics, and there's no incentive for Hysterics at the moment to move. Dino does find one elsewhere, so that's a good start, and no doubt he can use those X-Kairos to open up those hatches.
Huge.
Sage does eventually drop Hysterics, but Joe returns the favor. It's a 3 versus 3.
Oh my
Dino
God.
from up above, though, uses that meeting hatch to find a kill in response. This has been a good comeback from the Knights. It looked a little bit dicey for them. That said, Speakeasy is still alive, and we know just how dangerous he can be.
Jordan as well, 3 gas canisters, Speakeasy in freezer to shut down that Gemini clone. 30 seconds left. There's a lot of time for Knights to work with. They've got to refrag out these final 2 kills. Man advantage for Knights, but health advantage not necessarily heavily in their favor. Come down to some significant 1v1s here as they start to make their push through. And that's a 1v1 that Speakeasy steals away. Jordan as well. And Dino is the last man alive. in the 1-on-2 with Hibana. Speakeasy says, that's my kill, mate. And Invictus make the comeback 3 rounds in a row for an even half.
Yeah, that's really well done by Invictus to bring back that half. First couple of rounds, honestly, were quite grim. The Knights were super switched on when the server lit up, but Invictus have really been able to compose themselves, try to start dictating the terms of the match a little bit more, and that last round in particular, really well played. I love the work from Hysterics there to drain so much time on the extension, and then we saw Joe get a little bit aggressive and find one back, and sure, it was a little bit hairy at the end, but if you still have Speakeasy up alive in a clutch, I mean, anything is possible. The man is absolutely insane. He has been posting fantastic numbers locally, even on LAN as well. He's been doing really, really good stuff. So there was always going to be a round that they could win out. They do in the end. And yeah, I'm really excited to see can Invictus continue this momentum on their attack.
They're looking to suppress any aggressive ideas that Knights bring to the table. Lion pick for Lunar Metal. The double operation Chimera picks as well, as we see Speakeasy go over onto Finka. Bit of a conversation going around globally as Finka creeped back into the meta. Not that she was ever a mainstay. I'd say she is now more than ever. She's been added with those grenades recently. They also changed it, I believe, guys. I think you were the one who told me about this, but they made it so Finka's boost is no longer temporary. If you're under 100 health and it boosts you up, then that no longer goes away when the adrenal surge subsides.
Indeed.
Yeah, I think she's a good pick. I mean, you've got 2 nades. It's been a while since you've said indeed. I just wanted your validation, mate, because I legit didn't read the patch notes. I just remember you saying it one time.
No, you're 100% right. And look, for the longest time, some of the Southeast Asian teams, you think of the Thai teams, etc., have been playing Finka long before she got grenades. But I feel like, those frag grenades being added has sped up that adoption from some of the other regions who probably value utility a little bit more. And
it's also the, because she had nades back in the day, right? But, I mean, different meta back then, but also, she didn't have Gon 6 back then. So you're in a position now where it's you got 2 nades, got the Gon 6. It's basically your Yana. That's your 3 explosives, just like you would usually pick on the Yana. So you're questioning, do we want to go for the Geminis? Do we want to go for the Adrenal Surge? And funnily enough, yeah, a lot of teams are actually favoring the Surge.
Yeah, for sure. Just have to convince the rest of the team that the recoil buff is worth it. Some
it's a buff,
players find it more annoying than useful. But that said, with some of the recoil being adjusted, it could be useful. And Hysterics finds that kill, the M762, preferencing that over the LMG, pays dividends in round number 7 as he drops Josh in Attic.
One of the few players that you see running that assault rifle these days after the nerfs. A little bit of a buff coming into Crystal Guard, but still a shadow of its former self. Hysterics low HP. This roam being addressed from Invictus. A stun grenade now as well, concussion. Hysterics also affected by that Luna, ready for this swing. He's no doubt gonna find that kill. And IG erupts, completely quashing this roam, finding themselves a 5 versus 2 advantage with a minute left for Knights to hold on.
Attackers have located a bomb.
It's up now to Invictus to close out a round that should be theirs. It's been quite an explosive start. Every single defender that was off-site hunted down relentlessly by this attack. Speakeasy still droning ahead to confirm these few remaining defenders' positions. Dino supports that pick though onto Jordan. 2 versus 4. Juicy forced down the hatch, will rotate back up wide as Dino finds yet another. But Hysterics, perfect timing to catch that rotation, leaves Dino all alone.
Gonna have to ace up, 25 seconds and ticking. Dino, a red-hot player, always been known as quite a fragger, somewhat overshadowed by other Knights players on his team, but Speakeasy with the nade. Great read and IG to convert that 5 versus 2 advantage, and for the first time this match, take the lead. That is 4 rounds in a row.
I don't know if now's the time to start getting worried for the Knights, honestly. The Invictus, in the second part of their defense, just gained so much momentum, and I thought, maybe on the attack it'll be halted a little bit. The Knights on the defense should look quite comfortable, but much like their counterparts on the roam, it kind of just completely fell apart. I really love the way in which Invictus were able to clear out Kitchen. So much pressure being applied and the confidence there from Luna to have confidence in his team's call, to just swing wide on the ping, finds the kill. I guess the rest is history. Really good job from Invictus, and they're looking quite dangerous.
I'm still astounded that Invictus will manage to convert that 0-3 to a 3-3. Not just because it's impossible to do, because obviously it's not, but Knights won those first couple rounds so convincingly, and they looked so good. Invictus looked lost. They took that problems that they were having and just threw some confidence at it, re-roamed, got aggressive. They've built up a momentum which is squarely on their side now, on their attacking half. And while Knights are likely to get a couple rounds here, I do feel like Invictus really salvaged that first half to a position where this is winnable in regulation. The full 3 points is on the cards.
We will once again see the Lion brought out here by Luna, which should aid in clearing out any roam that is to exist from the defense. Now, I don't know just how potent that roam is currently. Could well see the Knights instead play down below and force an execute, but Sage is roaming up above. I don't think he's really being assisted too much. Oh, Josh actually sneakily inside of games.
For drones
So
under
a
the
couple of
barricade.
these defenders just positioning themselves awkwardly on this roam, trying to force Invictus's hand. Even Hayward at the top of tier 3 going for something pretty wild. Dino does find the opening kill, and that's the danger man of Speakeasy taken down. Joe, though, will trade him back. Finds himself down as Hayward finds 1 or 2 hysterics. No drone seemingly placed there from Invictus. Jordan does have control of blue, but Joe is down. Luna will likely need to go for that pickup.
Attackers have recovered their diffusers.
Looks like Invictus intend to bypass this roam, but it has left them with a numbers deficit, and quite a significant one at that. Trying to push in from blue with absolutely no rear stairs control, you're going to have a bad time. So as long as Hayward can stay his position, IG will need to move elsewhere, and that's exactly what they decide to do. Numbers deficit, though, and time slinking away does make this incredibly difficult.
Not unwinnable, though. If the Knights get a little bit too excited here, and maybe a little bit overly confident, we could see momentum swing back towards Invictus, but it is unlikely. The Knights, this should be theirs. This is theirs to lose. You can see both teams, in fact, playing really cautiously. Luna does have the diffuser in hand, but again, getting in towards Pillar and mounting a plant will be tough. Hayward is a key player in this round.
And he hears the entry. Oh, the trigger discipline. He'll call that out to his teammates. Kitchen hallway. And he dodges it again. He's going to hear it. And now Jordan gets the read. What? That play could make this round for IG. Still, there is meeting control for Knights. And that means with the electrical hatch open, but Jordan, he's put the team in his backpack and marched on away. 3 versus 2 now. Invictus have the advantage. They've got some util. Knights just have Juicy and Sage to try and hold on. The plant going down. Is there a C4 to deny? What a shot for Sage. And the double. Jordan goes down. Sage massively steps up for Knights.
What a play from Sage. That was huge. At every moment in that round where someone just had to step up from the Knights and honestly find a pretty free kill, they got timed. They failed. Someone had to finally do the dirty work. Really well played there. Probably shouldn't have been made that difficult there. It shouldn't have been a clutch, but hey, we'll take it. It was fun to watch. And the Knights will even out the scoreline in doing so. This really is beginning to be a bit of a barn burner, as old mate Manic would say. 4-4, the scoreline. And I think, as we often say, Dorbs is probably going to be a pretty telling sight in this matchup.
Yeah, look, I know you and Xenox love to say that, but I will I will be inclined to agree with you here. But for me, big X factor is, of course, going to be Hysterics. You mentioned the Nook in our previous game on Bank. You said God Legion was playing as if he was a Nook player, just trying to go for these cheeky little flanks, use that silent step and the ability to hide from the cameras with that held presence reduction. And look, if there's anyone who can pull off a play like that, I would definitely put Hysterics on that shortlist. That said, he's had a bit of a struggle so far this game. He's got the most deaths of any player in the game, tied with two of the other guys in the server, and just been consistently getting shut down.
5 seconds left before insertion.
I don't quite know how Nook is going to fit into this map. We have seen her brought on Chalet, for example, a bit more free-flowing, a bit more open, and more opportunities to go for long flanks. I guess you can make the argument that basement might offer a nice opportunity here for Hysterics to get something done. May be able to probe down below in the likes of dining and kitchen with those grenades, could go for plays on the vert as well. So I'm very, very keen to see how Nook is played. It's an operator that doesn't see a whole lot of light here on Oregon at all from memory. So if Hysterics is to get himself back into this matchup, maybe this is the round to do so.
We are at an even scoreline. Both these teams looking to break away to their 5th round win on the board. Knights have been the victors both of these times that these teams have faced each other. Stage 1, 7-5 to Knights. Stage 2, 8-6. Consistently getting closer as we've seen IG come back into form.
Couple of lines of sight established here by Jordan, and an entry on the bottom right-hand side with a double reinforced wall. Hysterics still yet to get boots on the ground inside of the map, and rightly so. I believe it was Hayward roaming down below on the Valk, so needs to be careful. But we are slowly approaching that halfway point of the round. Games wall still reinforced. No one playing inside of pit if IG want to take control of that, but talk about control. Hysterics down below, in fact from outside, able to find that pick on towards Sage.
Jumps in the kitchen hallway window, uses the presence reduction to sneak up on Sage and kitchen. Very significant impact there. That's one of the players roaming down below, one of the players with C4s to deny plant as well.
Now Dino under the pump inside of Games Room, and no doubt the reinforced wall to the south will be opened up quite soon. Joe still has 2 exothermic charges remaining, and with no wall denial on that wall anymore, I believe, it should be free real estate. Now Hayward, in fact, is still down below. Nitro Cell could be impactful late round. Josh has one in the hand as well. Smoke canisters do rain out. Juicy, though, with only one left. And that won't be enough to hold out this push. Speakeasy finds one. Joe as well. Josh and Hayward under the pump.
Hayward needs to make this flank count, but IG is shaping up for a master take, and it'll be very, very difficult for the Knights to repel this. As IG shape up, so many players stacking on trophy. Speakeasy at the bridge. Great pick from Hayward, but that does mean the jig is up. That C4 completely blind. No info. Speakeasy's covering the Y stairs rotation. Oh my god, Joe! Almost the plant was denied. Hayward! 1 versus 1 with the double deagle. Hayward has made this winnable, put the team onto his shoulders, and Joe has to hold on. Hayward 10-5, but that's not good enough. Joe to hold the post plant. Invictus thanking their lucky stars that they take the lead once again.
Another nail-biting round between these two. Hayward, the double deagle, that is something you don't see every day, but it's not quite enough in the end. And Joe with better HP, a better position, a better scope, able to close out that round with the 5-5-6. That triggers a tactical timeout from the Knights, looking to compose themselves. We find ourselves now in sort of the red time of regulation, right? Invictus are a single round win away from claiming match point. And as we often say, every single point in the standings is so, so critical. And the Knights know that as well as anyone. They finished first in Stage 2. In fact, Invictus probably know it even better. Heading into the final play day of Stage 2, they were last and gained enough points to get in the top 4 and head to the major. Both of these teams know every single round is critical. And the Knights, to hold on, will need to successfully defend Meeting and Kitchen, which is a big, big gamble.
Going back to dorms, not on the agenda for Knights at the moment. They failed to win it twice now. And like you said, every single round, every single map counts, whether this is pushed to overtime, whether it's done and dusted in regulation. Anything is possible. Every result is still on the cards for both of these teams. Knights can still win it in regulation, get the full 3 points. Invictus looking like they're in the prime position to do just that, or at the very least, claim match point in this coming round. Like you said, Knights are taking the gamble here, going to Meeting and Kitchen, their tertiary site, instead of repeating dorms. Let's see if IG are ready for it.
Attackers need to locate and defuse
Gridlock.
bombs.
Okay. I don't even know the last time I said a Gridlock in a comp match, but I'm super keen because Gridlock can definitely offer some good utility. 2 smoke grenades, and let's not forget that the F90 is such a strong gun and a fun gun to use at that. In fact, I wish more people, or more operators rather, had the F90 in hand because that gun is just so gnarly. But either way, a good alternative to the Nomad, of course, banned out in the pre-match. So yeah, they're going with something a little bit different here, which is always good to see.
I wonder whether it's a read from IG, whether Luna thought that, looking based on the reveal phase, that this was going to be a meeting hold,
5 seconds to
because
insertion.
that gridlock is really, really good at gridlocking up, clogging up those rear stairs. Really, really hard to make your way up to flank these stairs where Josh has just come down when it's covered in track stingers. So that could be part of the play here for IG. Knights playing a very loose roam. They've got utility all over the place, all the way up in dorms and players all the way down in the basement. The main ingredient IG is lacking is a thermite. But not impossible to win this attack without one. They've still got 2 hard breaches. The Maverick can make a sizable hole, though it does take time.
Oh, that's a fair angle there. Hysterics. His life flashes before his eyes as Josh at the bottom of Big Tower towards rear stage looks to find the opening kill. He misses, however, and now Juicy left to try and fortify this position. Also gets timed. Speakeasy now pressuring from outside, and there's already so much action going down in the first minute of this round. The Knights, aware that Invictus want Big Tower control, are not giving it away for free. Such an aggressive setup here on the defense.
Even attic wall opened up. Hysterics, a couple of pot shots to try and cover the sound of him dropping. And IG have taken some really pivotal map control here onto this meeting attack. Hatch reinforced, though, will make it a little bit more difficult for IG. They'll have to address that. But for now, just over half the round remains, and they have this tower control. Likely this will be an execute onto stage. They're taking everything they need to execute that. There's actually, I didn't quite see this in the prep phase, but the wall on T1 into meeting is completely opened. No need for a thermite, but they do need to clear out Juicy on these rear stairs.
Yeah, I'm really liking this setup from the Knights. High risk, but it could well pay dividends. Minute 10 left on the board, and Invictus now stacking on the stairs. A little bit scared. Where should they go next?
Oh, Juicy does dodge the nade. His gas does go out, potentially deny that position in T1. Josh is the first victim as IG send it sight. And Knights have no response. IG look to claim match points with an insane play. There is just about nothing that the Knights can do as they must retake. They have about 30 seconds to do so in the 3-on-4.
Hayward and Sage now in the 2v4. Hysterics watching the stairs will clean up one more. Hayward inside of lobby needs to go huge. Finds the first, but this round still so difficult to win. So many long angles that can be held from the attack. And yes, he finds one more, but both Luna and Speakeasy are just sitting back, waiting so patiently. The diffuser exposed, and with 15 seconds left, Hayward will need to try and stick.
And that plant spot's not going to work. Invictus, a rush strat to counter the creative setup from Knights, nets the match point here. And the SI 2017 player charm for Luna Metal as well. He's looking to do everything he can to return to international competition.
Probably not too many people that have that charm, honestly.
Oh,
so
no.
that is a bit of a collector's item, that one. But yeah. Wow, that setup from the Knights, I mean, I didn't mind it. In fact, we haven't really seen much innovation on that site at this sort of level. Often that wall fully reinforced, teams will hunker down, try and play plant denial from deep. But yeah, ultra aggressive there from the Knights. They always opened up that door to allow Invictus to just absolutely charge through. And once they felt confident enough to do so, they committed to it. So full props to Invictus. They exploit that weakness. They gain match point, which is really, really big for them. I'm trying to think in terms of SI implications, just how good IG's chances are of even making the next 6
0 SI points in stage 1, but then a fair chunk in stage 2.
Right? They need to finish 5th to 8th in the major to be an 87% plus chance.
Geez.
So, I mean, that puts even more emphasis on the regular season, right? Knights in comparison, realistically, they only need to finish 7th in APAC, so a top 4 finish, and even an abysmal performance in the playoffs will likely be enough to send them through. So, yes, you want to win every match. The Knights, of course, want to back up stage 2, finish first, but yeah, I think the emphasis for Invictus on the regular season is super duper paramount.
Yeah, IG definitely in a position where their SI chances are looking grim. Knights all but locked in. And that does definitely put pressure on IG, but also puts the pressure on Knights. I mean, they will feel incredibly determined to make it to an international event because despite qualifying in August, they couldn't go. I'm sure that they're hoping that in November, we'll have more optimistic chances, but oh my God! No optimism when Speakeasy is chowing through your entire roster. This match point is not looking to entertain the notion of overtime as Knights are on the run. IG are looking to make a statement.
And in classic Finker fashion, Speakeasy can heal himself back up bit by bit. Luna getting aggressive on Laundry, stares the swing from Juicy with the shotgun. A critical kill to keep his team in this round, in this map. They are still at the disadvantage, however, and Invictus have plenty of time to work with. Joe, with the diffuser in hand outside front door, can begin to open up that hatch. Does some more draining for his team alongside Speakeasy. Jordan, quite aggressive, over towards Kitchen Corridor, looking to take meeting control, and I think there's a player behind the sandbags. It's Dino.
Some GN11 in hand. Oh, what a shot there from Jordan. G and Dino. Oh, what a sequel! He's so hot in this shot. That's why you spend your time in AIM Labs. And IG, 4 versus 2 with over a minute left to go. Juicy and Sage have got to clutch it up, but they've done it before. Remember what Sage managed to pull off just a couple rounds ago with that insane 3K with the MPX. He's got to back it up. He's got to do it again here.
Rounds like these where you earn your salary as a pro player, if you can bring this back from the jaws of defeat, it would be absolutely huge for the Knights. IG just need to take a moment to compose themselves. They have 45 seconds to work with. Plenty of utility, a couple of flashbangs as well to commit to this push. And Juicy, no doubt, about to be under the pump. Laundry and Freeze are likely to be squeezed out, and Sage needs to go big.
Moment of quiet as Invictus prepare to take the plunge, the drop into Freezer. And Sage ready to take this one. He's got to do it. 1 versus 3 for Sagen. On match point for IG. The plan could well be denied, but Speakeasy makes it look easy peasy. Knights go down for the first time as Invictus take the victory 7-4 to close out Pallada number 2 of APAC South.
It was a slow start for Invictus. The Knights got the first 3 rounds in this match, but Invictus bounced back. Wow, they did some great work. They won the last 7 out of 8 rounds. They won. That is just such an insane stat. The Knights unable to break their momentum, and Invictus, huge implications for them for the rest of the stage. They need to keep winning as many games as possible. That's the end goal for them. They've gotten one step closer towards